In today's video, we're going to be answering the questions, what qualifies as trauma? And how can I know if my body is storing trauma, as they say? So if we haven't had an occasion to meet yet, I'm Allie Whitney. I'm an integral somatic bodyworker, coach, and educator. Welcome to my space in my studio. So let's dive into the topics. So the first question of, what qualifies as trauma? That word is kind of a buzzword right now. And there is a growing public awareness, which I'm thankful for, around, trauma and how our life events kind of shape and influence our lives. So, it's interesting, the question, what qualifies as trauma, in a sense, isn't even the right question. And I'll explain why. Because there's no particular event that can qualify as trauma, because as Peter Levine says, that's the developer of somatic experiencing, which is a body-based approach to healing stress and trauma. It's a modality that I am trained in. As Peter Levine says, trauma is not in the event, it's in the person. So let's break down what he means by that. If you imagine a very minor car accident, just a fender bender, where there's no physical injuries to anyone, it's just a bumper is bent, let's say. You can have two people go through that exact same fender bender and walk away with completely different experiences of it, right? You can have someone that happens to have a very regulated nervous system. And what I mean by that is someone who, they might be kind of ushered into a fight or flight based on what's happening, if there's some kind of threat or danger or whatever, but their system organically knows how to flow through and out of that and come back down into a grounded, calm state. So someone that has a regulated nervous system, to go through a very minor accident like a fender bender, they can probably walk away unscathed, right? Where they don't lose sleep over it. They don't have heightened anxiety later because of it. Their mind isn't thinking about that for the rest of the week and unable to concentrate on their job or anything else. So they can walk away just kind of unaffected, so it seems, right? Emotionally and somatically. But you can have another person, let's say someone with a dysregulated nervous system, someone who has been through some kind of experience or multiple experiences where they were moved into a fight or flight state, but for whatever reason, and there's a lot of factors that go into this, their system didn't organically know how to come back down into a grounded, calm state. And it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with that person. It means that they probably didn't have the right supports in place in order to come back down, or it happened at a particular age or stage of development that made it really tricky to know how to come back down, and that there just wasn't the right amount of resources available to them to do that. So if a person with a dysregulated nervous system goes through the same fender bender minor car accident, they might walk away feeling kind of high strung, highly anxious about it. They might get into a bunch of self-blame about it, whether or not that's true, whose fault it was is a different issue. But they might have trouble sleeping at night. It might just kind of rattle them in a way that maybe for the first person with a regulated nervous system, that didn't happen. And so that really proves the point of what Peter Levine said of trauma is not in the event. It's not in the car accident. The trauma is in the person and in their physiology, in their body. And it's a matter of, do they have a regulated nervous system that knows how to come back down after some kind of upset or, some event in life? Or do they, based on their history, do they have a nervous system that moves into a fight or flight and then kind of gets stuck there? So, we really can't say what qualifies as trauma, because it just depends. It depends on the person, and it depends on their set of experiences that they're already carrying around with them leading up to, the event. So, Gabor Mate, I really like a quote as well from him as well that says, trauma is not what happens to us. Trauma is what is happening inside of us as a result of what happened to us. And boy, is that true. And it speaks also to what Peter Levine was saying of it's not so much about what happened. It's about what's happening inside of me as a result of what happened, right? So there's a chain of events that happens in my body in response to an event. And that chain of events, if it gets stuck at a certain point in the fight or the flight process, or in the freeze process as well, then, that really points to a dysregulated nervous system. Dysregulated nervous systems, regulating your nervous system is a skill that can be taught and it can be learned. And with the right supports in place, everyone can attain a regulated nervous system. So again, it's not that there's something wrong with people that have a dysregulated nervous system. It just speaks to perhaps what experiences that they've been through before and what supports and resources that they had surrounding that time that would have helped them usher back down into a calm, grounded state. So this other question of like, how do I know if my body is storing trauma, as they say? Because we can't look at a particular event, let's say like a car accident or an earthquake, because we can't look at the event to then say, oh, that person or these people that went through that clearly have trauma stored in their body. Because we can't do that, because it's so specific and unique to the individual person, then what we do to determine if someone's body is, holding on to trauma is we look at their set of symptoms. We look at what are the signs and symptoms that they are exhibiting. And more importantly, or another important factor is, what is their experience moving through daily life? Is it that they are highly anxious? Or is it that they have an inability to fall asleep? Is it that they can't concentrate at work? Or that they have like chronic IBS or abdominal symptoms, gastrointestinal symptoms? What we do, we more look for kind of what is the person experiencing in life, and where did those things kind of line up or correlate with a stuck fight or flight or a stuck freeze? And it can manifest in such a variety of ways. It's hard to go into a full list of like, what does a dysregulated nervous system or trauma stored in the body, what does that manifest as or look like in a person? And there really is such a variety. There's no way to list them all. But wherever our body is not at ease, or wherever we do not have an ability to engage socially with people, because those are the things that are the key factors, or I should say the key signs we look for that someone is in that grounded, calm state. It's called the ventral vagal state of the nervous system. Is that we are at ease. We're calm, but we're alert. So we're not so calm we're falling asleep. That's a different nervous system state. We're calm, but we're alert. And we can socially engage with people. We have that ability to, have conversations and to engage at that level. Again, because we don't feel that there's something unsafe. We don't feel unsafe. We don't feel threatened by anything in particular in that moment. So I hope that provides some clarity around, what qualifies as trauma, and also some clarity around, how to tell if your body in particular is storing trauma, as they say. So I'd love to hear in the comments if you have any questions, and also how you engage with the material. Let me know. Until next time, see you later. Well, I've been educating clients in person for years now here at my studio. This YouTube channel is brand new, and I've got big dreams for using it to help people understand how to heal from stress and trauma, all from a body-oriented perspective, and how to regulate their nervous system and their emotions. So if you enjoyed this video, please like it, share it, and subscribe to my channel for more.